Hey y'all, it's Ashley Benz here with Childcare Success Tools. I am your childcare business strategizer and mindset mentor, and I am super excited to bring you this video today. Now, if you are trying to start a daycare center, if you are trying to start a family childcare home, if you want to start an after school program, anything of that nature, and you simply just have loads of questions that are unanswered, then I want you to stay tuned because today I am going to get those answered for you. So if you're interested, then stay tuned. Okay, you guys, so once again, Ashley Benz here. Now, before I jump in, I have to welcome my new subscribers. This channel is getting subscriptions and people subscribing to this every single day. So first of all, I just want to say welcome, and I am super excited that you found me, and I'm excited that you're here, and I am excited for you to be a part of my CST Childcarepreneur community. So definitely welcome. And I do definitely want to say thank you to all of my subscribers and those of you that follow me and hang out with me in my private Facebook group community, and you join me when I go live and do all those fun things. I just want to say thank you so much, you guys, because this has been one amazing year for me. Childcare Success Tools will officially be 1 year old March 28th. So I am just super excited. I'm super blessed to have this opportunity to be able to share with you all things childcare success tools. So what we're going to do today is that we're going to spend a few moments, and I am going to go over some frequently asked questions. So once again, if you are trying to get started, you have had this dream of opening your own childcare business, whether that's a family childcare home, or you want to do I've seen all kind of stuff people are trying to do, and so you just keep running into questions, and you keep searching and trying to look, and you just can't find the answers for it. So today I'm going to do that for you. So what I've done is that I have compiled questions, frequently asked questions, from my most viewed video, which is how to start a daycare center or how to start a daycare. I will show you how step by step. Now, let me tell y'all something. That video is not even a year old. It's 11 months old. I checked it today, and that video has gotten 20,000 views. Now, when I started Childcare Success Tools, I was really, kind of trying to reach childcare owners and directors who are already in business. I did that one video because I knew there was a little bit of a need out there as far as how to get started. But let me tell you, I had no idea that there was so many of you all that are stuck with how to get started. And so seeing the amount of views that I've gotten on that video really opened my eyes up to the fact that there is a huge need for knowledge out there, to educate people on how to actually do this. Okay. So what I did is I compiled questions from that video, and today's questions are going to be frequently asked questions from that video. So let's just jump right in. Okay. The first question that I do want to answer for you is, and by the way, before I jump in, one more thing I need for you to do is I need for you to like this video. I need for you to share this video. I need for you to give this video a thumbs up. If you are already excited about it right now, go ahead and give that thumbs up right this minute. Also, be sure that you subscribe so that you can get more information like this. So if you are just, you just found me and you're not a subscriber, then you need to subscribe so that you can get more information like this. You can get notified, okay? So do those things for me really quick, and then we'll get started. All right, I appreciate that. Okay, so the first question is, do I still own a child care business? So people ask me all the time, do you still own a child care business? Do you still own a child care center? The answer to that question is no, I do not. I no longer own my child care business. Just to kind of give you a little bit of background as to Why? I actually, and for those of you that are new, but I actually owned, operated, and directed a child care center for 10 years. I started out as a family child care provider, and then I transitioned that my family child care home into an actual center. And so I did that for 10 years. I actually started out, okay, so this is actually how I even got into the child care industry or the child care field, was that I actually went to school to be a music teacher. So hence the piano in the background here. I played the piano. I love to sing, and I love music and all that good stuff. So in my spare time as a hobby, me and my daughter, my little 2-year-old, we get back here and we'll be jamming back here in the back. So, so it's a little bit about me that you might not didn't know. But I started out, I went to school to be a music teacher. I got a job working at the university's child care center, and that's how it all got started. So from there, I worked in several different child care programs, and there was a need for, really good, well-managed child care centers, and I saw the need for that because children were suffering, being a part of these child care centers that the directors was not directing. There was no systems in place. I mean, you're just talking about a lot of stuff, and I witnessed a lot of stuff. So I was like, I could probably do this myself. So anyway, so in 2005, August of 2005, I opened up my family child care home, and then it just went from there. So anyway, if you want to know the full length explanation of all that, then I will leave a link below in the description box, because I did do a video. I think it was one of my very first videos that I did where I talk about all that. So I'll leave the link down below. I started Child Care Success Tools because I knew that there was a need out there. And so long story short, after we had our daughter, we did struggle for about 6 years to, have our daughter. And so after we had her, it was very, very, very clear to me as to the fact that that chapter of my life was supposed to be over. Now, the 8th year that I was in business, I was sitting in my office one day, and y'all, I'm telling y'all, I just had something come over me that just told me, like, Ashley, you're not supposed to be here anymore. You're supposed to be doing something else. And I actually had a vision. And when I say a vision, I'm not meaning like I actually, saw stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I had an actual vision. And that vision was that I was supposed to be teaching people, about systems and processes. Now, my thought pattern was that I was going to actually begin to expand my child care center. We were going to go ahead and start opening up different locations. We were thinking about franchising that child care center. And my vision was that I would actually be over, a lot of directors and stuff like that in different locations and teaching that away. So that was my vision. But God always has a different plan, and his plans are higher than ours. And so once again, after I had my daughter, it was very evident as to what I should be doing. So we did decide to close down the business after 10 years, the daycare center. Very, very hard decision to make. It was like a death in the family because it was family owned and operated. So my mom and my sister and my dad and my husband, we all worked it. And so it was really, really, really hard decision. But God always knows how to get our attention and then get us where we need to be at. And so, after having my daughter, things, as they say, people always say, things become clear, and it did. And so anyway, I stepped out on a leap of faith, and Child Care Success Tools kind of fell in my lap because I really didn't know what I wanted to do with myself after closing the center, but I knew I wanted to still stay in the child care industry and the child care business field and all that good stuff. And so anyway, Child Care Success Tools fell in my lap. My husband was like, why don't you do a YouTube video? You've got so much knowledge. Why don't you share that with people? And I was like, I don't know about that. I don't mind watching YouTube, but to get on there and do all that. Like, that is not me, because in my private life, I'm very, very, just kind of, I'm an introvert. And so anyway, but I did take his advice. My husband always has wonderful advice, and I took his advice, and now here we are all setting. Okay, so that's just a quick rundown. To answer the question, do I still own my childcare business? The answer is no. That's why I basically stepped out on a leap of faith, just following the plans that God has for me. And I am so glad that I did, because I absolutely love what I do. I absolutely love it. This is so much fun. And I get to work with owners and directors and people trying to get started across the entire world. So I just think it's a blessing. Like, it's such a blessing to be able to do this. So, okay, so that answers that question. Now, and once again, if you want to see that first video, then the link is in the description box below, or I'll put it somewhere. There will be a link up somewhere. Okay, so the very next question I usually get asked is, where do I start? I have no clue where to begin. All right, so everybody wants to know, where do I start? So it's very, very, very easy to start a child care business. Very, very easy. All you have to do is just Google your state, and you're going to type in child care center licensing or child care licensing, and what you need is going to pop up. Okay, so when you want to get started, the very first thing that you're going to go to every state has a child care licensing department or division, and so that's who you're going to go to, because they are the ones that actually will come in to your home, or come into, if you're going to be opening up an actual building, and they're going to actually give you your license to legally operate a child care program or a child care business. So that is very easy. I think a lot of times people feel like there's so much to it, as far as the very first step in getting started, and that's very simple, and that's that's just all you got to do. They're going to give you everything that you need. They're going to give you packets. They're going to give you, all the information that you need to get started. Now, here is what a lot of people are naive to or not aware of, and I'm going to tell you that child care licensing does not help you with the business side of running a child care business, okay? So do not go and look to them to be the ones that's going to help you learn how to market, that's going to help you learn how to set up systems and processes in your business, that's going to teach you how to budget and make sure that you're profiting. They're not going to do that. Their job is to make sure that those that are providing care for children are providing quality care, and that they're in compliance. So don't look to them to be the ones to help you figure all the other stuff out. All they're going to do is that you're going to set up your program, you're going to set up your home, you're going to do, get all those things in compliance, your lesson plan, daily activity schedules. They're going to come in, they're going to do an inspection, and then if you pass that, they're going to give you a certificate or a license, okay? That's it. After that, that's it. And then they'll come in once a year or whatever to, renew that license, okay? Okay, but that's all that they're going to do, okay? So, but that's your first step. That is your first step. Okay, another question that came from that video, and once again, the link to that video is below in the description box. So the video that I did, how to start a daycare or whatever, I will show you how step by step. That is in the description box below. So I had another viewer that says, I love your video. What is the first step to open up a childcare? It's my dream and I'm scared to start this project. Do I need any qualifications or certificate? How long does it take to open? All right, so once again, I went over what the first step is. Get with your licensing department. Now, also, I want to go back, because if you are not in the States, because I do have viewers from all over the world, different countries and things like that are represented here at our CST community. But you're still going to get with your local, there's still going to be some sort of a division or licensing, some sort of a licensing division that's going to also do the same thing. So be sure that you check with, your local childcare department. Now, you also can check if you are in the States. There is what's called the Childcare Resource and Referral Agency. Once again, Google that. It's very easy. Type in your state and then type in the Childcare Resource and Referral Agency. In fact, I believe they have a national office or something like that. So I will be sure to leave that link in the comments below. In the description below. Sorry, I'm thinking I'm on Facebook because I do Facebook Lives all the time. So. But I will leave that in the description box below. Check with them. They are really, really good with helping you. In fact, a lot of states have moved to where they are the ones that you're going to go through to actually get the information you need to get licensed. Okay, and they're kind of acting as a middleman between directors and owners, people trying to get started, and the licensing department. So I know a lot of states are doing that now. Okay, but it's my dream. I'm so scared to start this project. So let me shift into being the mindset mentor. And so let me kind of shift a little bit into that. This is it can be very overwhelming. Trying to start a daycare center, trying to start a family childcare home or whatever can be very overwhelming. Okay. But here's the thing about it. And this is something that my mom always told me, and I'm going to hand it right off to you. Is that there are so many child care centers and programs across the globe, guys, that if they can do it, you can do it. Okay? Do not be afraid of this process. Okay? Yes, is it a process? Yes, it is a process. But if you really, 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 really want to do it, then it will get done. And so one of my favorite quotes is that if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. And so if you feel scared, it's because that you are exactly what you're dreaming. You are right in the right place. Okay. And I'm here to help you guys with this. You do not have to be afraid. I am here to help you in any way that I can. And I will share with you, how we can get connected towards the end of this video. But do not be afraid, okay? This is where you can basically remove fear, okay? Fear is always removed with knowledge and education, okay? That's when you become more confident, okay? When you know exactly what you need to do and you have, the go-tos for that. So what I want you to do, if you are feeling so scared and you're like, I really want to do this, or I've been thinking about doing this for years and I just can't seem to get over that fear factor of jumping into it, I want you to remove that fear with knowledge, which right now that's what you're getting, okay? But I want you to remove that fear with knowledge. And once you get the knowledge, that's going to give you the confidence that you need to keep pushing, because you can do this, okay? So that is me putting on my mindset mentor hat and letting you know you can do it. If I could do it, anybody could do it. Okay. Now, another part of this question was, do I need any qualifications or certificates, and how long does it take to open? So as far as qualifications and certificates go, once again, your state is going to provide you with that. Every state is different. Most states now, you do have to get some sort of a training or something like that done to even be, basically to even get put on the list to, have someone to come in, have a licensing inspector to come in and do that. So, but every state is going to be different. And so once again, that question will be specifically answered, specifically for you with your child care center licensing department. Okay. And then how long does it take to open? Well, to be quite honest with you, that is going to depend all on you, because here's the thing about it. When you open up a child care center or program, guess what? You become your own boss, okay? You become your own boss, and so therefore, that is going to be left up to you. Now, I know what most people are probably asking is in regards to licensing and stuff like that. Now, I will tell you that licensing does have they have their own things that they go through, and just to be quite honest with y'all, licensing, usually a lot of states are understaffed. They don't have enough help in those departments, and so sometimes it can take a long time to do this. Okay, I have seen programs. Wow, I've seen programs go back and forth for almost a year with licensing. You know, they come down, they inspect your home or your center. You go back and fix what they want, and then it's just something still is not together. Okay, so as far as how long that it takes, that is going to be, partially left up to you, because as long as this is what I always say. As long as you keep the ball in their court, then at least the process is not being slowed down because of you, okay? So all I can tell you on that end is that just keep the ball in their court. If whatever they ask for, do it, get it done, and then basically it's like you're handing the ball right back over to them, okay? The ball stays in their court. Now, another thing is that if you're struggling, maybe you are in that process and right now you are struggling with that, just be the squeaky wheel. Call, do a follow-up. Really create a really good rapport with, the inspector or somebody that you can kind of connect with. Really create a really good relationship with them. And I think sometimes this can kind of help move the process along. But in my case, it did not take long at all. They came in and inspect my home. And I want to say there was like a couple of things I need to fix. We fixed it. At that time, we would just send in what was called a deficiency correction. So we would have to go in and write it. And then I would send that in, and they just sent me my license back. But just hang in there. If you are one that's struggling right now, just hang in there. Make sure the ball stays in their court, okay? All right. The next question that I get asked all the time is, do you have to be a graduate to start? So the answer to that is, once again, every state's going to be different. Most states are very parallel when it comes to the fact that to actually own a child care center or direct one, you do have to be the age of 21 to do that. And so, if you're not, at the age of 21, then you're going to have to get a director or hire someone else, okay? But as far as any type of certificates and trainings, how to be a graduate, do you have to be a graduate? Most states are going to require you to have a high school diploma, a GED, or an equivalent, okay? So if you don't have those things, then you are going to have to get those things. And you have to be at least 21. All right. The next question is, do I need to have educational background, or can I hire a director? So once again, that is all going to be with your state. As far as the educational background, most states do not require you to have any educational, like a college degree or anything like that. But they do require certain types of training hours and things like that you can get through them. So I do know in the state of California, because I work with a lot of directors and owners in the state of California, so I've really gotten really familiar with that state's regulations. But there are training hours that a director has to meet. They also have teacher training hours and things like that. And so when it comes to kind of those kind of things, if you don't have a 4-year degree in early childhood education, you're still okay, because you can kind of go through those different types of trainings to get the trainings and the hours that you need to qualify as a director or a teacher, or whatever the case is for your specific state. All right, so here's another question from a subscriber and a viewer that says, I have a class to take in order for me to get my childcare license. I don't have the cash for a building they insist that I need. How do I find available grant money for business? All right, so this is probably, I would say, the maybe top three questions I get asked all the time is, how do I find grant money to start my business? So, all right, I'm getting ready to give y'all the lowdown on grants, okay? Are there grants available? Yes, there are grants available, but where they are, I do not know. I'm just going to be quite honest with you guys. Honestly, grants are really, really hard to find, okay? Now, my skill level is not in grant research or grant writing. So what I would suggest to you, if you don't have a lot of money, okay, and you want to try to get started and you want to try to get a grant, is that you need to connect yourself with a grant specialist, a grant writer, and someone that is familiar with grant research and grants, okay? And let me just tell you this, they do cost some money, okay, to be able to get a hold of somebody and have somebody help you out with that. Here is my suggestion to you if you have a lack of funds. Number one, starting a business, you are going to have funds. So I don't want you to be naive to think that you can kind of go get a grant and that's going to clear up the fund portion of it. I don't want you to think that, because there's just a myth out there that you can get grants to start a business, and unfortunately it's really, really hard. Now, I will tell you that it is easier to get a grant if you're going to be a nonprofit organization, okay, than a for-profit, okay? So it's easier to get a grant. If you're nonprofit, you want to go in as a nonprofit, it is going to be easier for you to get a grant. However, it is still difficult to find grants specifically for childcare. A lot of the nonprofit grants are for, charitable, things of that nature, special needs grants, and just things like that. So it's really hard to get a grant for just a basic childcare center. So if you are going to be specializing in something that there is a really a gap in your community, then it is going to be easier for you to get a grant. Now, let me say this. You can get a grant. So I don't want anybody out there to take what I am saying to you as being negative or anything like that, because I am not a negative person. What I am is I am going to tell you the truth, okay? I am going to tell you exactly what's behind the black curtain that everybody is hiding from you, okay? So when it comes to the whole grant thing and how to get a grant, this is where I would suggest for you to begin if that is what you want to do. I would highly suggest for you to begin in your local community, because your local community will be quicker to give you a grant for your childcare business than taking it to a state or even national grants, okay? Your local community. That is where I would suggest for you to start. You could probably start at your Chamber of Commerce, and that may be where you can start. There's also your local SBA office. Of course, they do business loans, but they may also gear you or steer you in the grant area. But if you really, 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 really want to do this with a grant, you're going to have to find you someone that writes grants and that researches grants and that can work for you, okay? Now, when it comes to not having enough funds, first of all, I do not want that to stop you, because I ran my childcare business, my family childcare home, just straight out of pocket. So what that means is that all the money that I used to run my childcare business when I started out was strictly from the profits that I made. That's it. So I like to call it's the old-fashioned way of doing business. It's straight, make the money, you pull some of that money back into your business, your profits, to continue to generate more business and to continue to maintain your business, okay? Now, here's what I want to tell you is that the best way to start is that you do want to start out with low overhead, and you want to start out as risk-free as possible. So, I mean, obviously, starting a business in general is risky alone. So I don't want to see you try to start something out like this and be going into, I guess feeling like you have to have a load of money to get started. There are ways that I do teach on how to start, which I call a stair step kind of way. And so if you are someone that has no money at all, where I suggest you to begin is in your home, okay? And so that's going to be phase one, is to start out in your home. You can start off with 6 children, 3 to 6 children, and get licensed for that. Then what I want you to do is I want you to take those profits that you get from that little bitty business, and I want you to invest those profits into phase 2, which is going to be where you get licensed to do what's called a group home or a family childcare home, which is where you can care for up to 12 to 15 children depending on your state. Okay. Then when we get you there, then is when we can go into phase 3, which is taking those profits and investing into your big dream. Okay. But if you really want to get started, this is something that you really want to do and you don't have the money, that is what I always suggest, is to start it out in phases and do it that way. Now, it's going to take you some time, but let me just tell you this too, guys. Don't rush this whole thing, okay? There is no need in rushing this, and I get it. You know, you guys, this is your dream. You want to jump into it. You're excited, but just do it smart. That's the better way to do it. Just do it smart, okay? Start out bit by bit. This is going to give you time to really learn and understand the business and understand yourself as a business owner. Okay, there's no rush at doing this at all. So that is my suggestion to you, like if you're low with funds. All right, let me move on. How to obtain a business loan is the next question. How do I obtain a business loan? So, okay. First of all, as I just stated before, I am one to teach how to start a childcare business, doing it at a low risk, okay? Because anytime we're in business and you're starting a business, you, like I said before, you do not want to be getting in over your head. That is where people get messed up. Okay, they have these huge dreams. They want to go big. They want to do what everybody else is doing, and then they get in over their heads. So, as far as a business loan, what is required for a business loan? Number one, you're going to have good credit, okay? And I think these are things that a lot of people know, but I'm just going to go over it because, it's a question I get asked all the time. So number one, your credit score is going to have to be great, okay? Number one. Number two, and this is the issue that I have with people starting out with a business loan. Now, if you are financially in the position for a business loan, then you're fine. But obviously, if you are someone that lacks the funds and stuff like that, then, you may not be in the financial position to be taking out a big loan. But here is just the basics, good credit. Number two, you are going to have to put up collateral. Any loan that you get out there, especially a business loan, okay, because a business loan is kind of similar to a mortgage in some ways. You're going to have to put up collateral. So this is the part that I don't like to advise people that, if you are not in that financial position, this is why I don't like to advise people to be starting out with a business loan, because you're going to have to put up collateral. And now, what if something happens? And usually, what are people putting up? Their homes, right? So what if something happens and, things just don't pan out the way that you had planned it to? Okay. Well, you could risk losing everything, not only your business, but your home or whatever it is that you put up for collateral, because all the bank cares about is, can you pay me back? And if you can't, what do you have? Okay. What assets do you have that will equal the amount of the loan that you're asking for so that I can get my money? That's all the bank cares about. right? So my suggestion to you, don't do the business loan route in the beginning stages, okay? Don't do it that way. Why not find a building that you can lease? It could be a storefront. It could be an old, a church with a basement. It can be a child care center that, was closed down. Why not find a building that you can lease out, okay? Lease it out for a couple of years, all right? Do maybe a lease to own option. See if the owner of the building is willing to do a lease to own option. And then from there, this gives you time to, once again, learn the business, learn yourself as a business owner. Make sure this is something you want to do, because I'm telling y'all, it's work to it. It is a lot of work to it. But making sure this is something that you want to do, and it doesn't lock you in, right? So when you don't get locked in, you get options. If something doesn't go right, you've got room to twist and move around. But when you get into a business loan, you're locked, okay? So my suggestion to you is that, if you financially are not in a position to get a business loan safely, then do a lease. Find a building, lease it out, and go that route, all right? But I don't like to ever teach you guys to be doing stuff that is just not really wise business decision making, because whatever that we do with our business, we always want to make wise decisions. This is how you get far in business, is that you make wise decisions. When you make unwise decisions, because you are making decisions based off emotion, because you want to do this and you see the dream and you see the big vision, but you're going off of your emotions, this is what gets people in trouble business wise. And so I just don't want that to happen to you. Okay. Another question I get is, how much money will I need to open up my own daycare center? So as far as how much money that you're going to need to open, that is something that, unless I know your specific situation and, me and you actually sit down and we have a one-on-one, that is going to be hard for me to tell, because all that depends on how many kids you want, how many staff do you want. It's going to depend on your location. It's going to depend on, if you're in a building, what renovations need to take place. So all of this stuff is really hard for me to sit here and give someone a specific number amount as to how much you need to get started. Now, I will tell you that if you are starting a family childcare home, you don't obviously need as much. In fact, you can start this out very, very inexpensive with just going to consignment shops for furniture and things like that, and you can start off just adding a little bit in your home. You don't have to start off with a big space or anything like that, but if you just have a little area in your home, you can start off just, getting things bits and pieces, and then kind of growing as you go along. Same thing with the child care center. A lot of people, that I talk to are, it's almost like, they feel like they need to have all this stuff to open up a center. Now, you are going to need the basics, all right? You're going to need furniture. You're going to need bookshelves for the kids. You're going to need tables and chairs, kid-sized tables and chairs. You're going to need art supplies. So, those are the basics. But I don't want you to think that you need to get all the things that you see in an established child care program in the beginning stages. And to be quite honest with y'all, to me, in my personal opinion, and just in me doing this, less is more, because the more stuff that you get in, it can get kind of cluttery. And I'm just not a real big fan of cluttery child care centers. That I'm not a big fan of it. I just think that it just creates a different kind of energy in the environment for the children when it's just too much going on. So sometimes less is more. And, you can get a lot of these materials at Target, Walmart, things of that nature, just to kind of pull it together really nicely. So as far as how much you need to get started, once again, that is something that I would only be able to answer if I did a one-on-one with you and kind of was able to get some really good background information as to what specifically you were wanting to do. Okay, so those are my frequently asked questions that I get asked all the time. The very last question that I get asked is, how do I contact you? So if you are wanting to connect with me, and by the way, you guys, I do want to let you know that I do see your comments that you leave on my videos, and I so appreciate your comments. However, I cannot answer everyone's comments. I do try my best to go through and answer and reply back. But if I, don't get a chance to reply back to your comment, just know that I do see it. And, if you're wanting to connect with me, the best way to do that is to join my it's a free private Facebook group community. It's over hundreds of childcare owners and directors, those that are trying to get started, those that have been in business for years, and that's where you're going to find me hang out every single day. So I go live in there. We do free webinars and all that good stuff, and so that's where you can kind of connect with me on a daily basis. As far as like connecting with me in a way for me to help you with your childcare, getting your childcare business started, I do offer different types of ways that you can work with me. And number one is that I do offer a 17 lecture course on how to get started. Okay, that was mentioned in the video that I did, how I show step by step. So I do offer that. Okay, that is if you are just wanting to, basically, if you want me to teach you how to do this, it is step by step. I will leave a link in the description box below so that you can go over and view that course curriculum. You can look at the curriculum and look at everything that we'll cover. Also, I will leave the link in the description box to the other video where I kind of actually take you behind the scenes and show you. And I think that'll be a great place for you to start. And then you can go from there. So that's one way to connect with me, for me to help you do this. Another way is that I do offer one-on-one coaching. I also have my amazing group coaching program as well, that I help owners and directors and those getting started. And a lot of people are having much success with those different programs. So I will leave the links to those in the comments section below of the different kind of tiers of how to work for me. Or how to work with me. Sorry. I will leave those in the comments section below. But that is how you can connect with me. You can find me on Instagram and my Facebook business page, and also, like I said, my free private Facebook group community. I will make sure to leave all those links below. Also, my email address is also below, and also in the cover of my actual YouTube channel, there is a link to the website and some other links up there as well as to how to connect with me and get in contact with me. But I will be sure to leave my email address directly below. Now, just mind you that, once I leave this below, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of emails. So once again, if you're not getting a response from me or something of that nature, just keep emailing me and I will get back to you. I hope that you guys like this video. I hope that you really, really found it useful. I hope it gives you some motivation to keep pushing and really kind of uncover some unknowns about how to get started. And so once again, be sure that you be sure that you comment below. If you have any additional questions, leave those below. And what I would like to do is maybe even do a part 2 to this or anything like that if I get, more questions that come in. And things like that. But my goal is to just really help you guys, because I know that you are struggling and you really want to get this childcare business up and running. And so I want to help you in any way that I can, and serve you in any way that I possibly can to help you with your dreams, because it is a beautiful business to be in. To be able to get up every morning and do what you love, to work with children and families every day. That is amazing to be able to do that. And I want to help you in any way that I can. All right. So once again, I hope this video was helpful to you. And also, I do want to kind of throw in here too, because I kind of forgot to mention that the investment part. So I know a lot of y'all, either, you don't have the money and things like that, but let me just kind of be upfront and honest with you about this. You are going to have to invest. If you're going to open a business, you're going to have to invest into starting a business, okay? That investment is going to be time, but it's also going to be money. And so, I'm saying that because I just want you to be aware that if this is something that you really want to do and you don't lack the money, if you could simply just come up with $300 or $400, that is going to give you something to at least start that investment process, okay? But this is an investment, and so I don't want you to be naive to think that you are not going to need any kind of money to get started, because you're going to need funds to get this started, okay? This is just like a child. So if you we all know how expensive it is to bring a child into the world. And so your business, your child care business vision and dream that you have is like bringing a child into the world, and that child is going to need things, and those things are going to cost. And I do want to tell you this, that any dream that you have, any big dreams are going to have to be funded, okay? My favorite, and y'all that know me know I love some Lisa Nichols, and she talks about her story and how, she said that she knew she had a dream. She didn't know what that dream was, but she knew it was going to cost her some money. And so she started to basically fund her dream. She worked a full-time job, and she would save money to fund her dreams. So I just wanted to make that, just really kind of give you some even motivation there. Don't look at it like it's, it's money I have to have. Look at it like you are funding your dream. You're funding a different life for you and your family, okay? You're trying to completely change, whatever situation that you are in now, whether you work a full-time job or you work at a child care center that you can see the areas that you can do better at, and you just want to, you want to be the one in control, or whatever the case is. Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom and you just want to spend more time with your kids. Don't look at it like this is money. It's an investment. You are funding your dreams. You're funding your future, okay? So, all right, let me get off here, because I know this video at this point has probably gotten way too long. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope this really helped you. Leave your comments below. And I am sending you, until the next video, I am sending you my encouragement. I am sending you my prayers for your child care business journey and your dream. And just know that prayer is powerful, and that with God, all things are possible, you guys. Okay? So thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.